Hello and welcome back to Bookish. I thought I'd shoot in a little bit of a different location today just for variety's sake. Shoot from my backyard. Zelda's decided to participate in our conversation. Anyway, I'm here today with the World Book Day tag. This tag I think was started by Steve Donoghue. Who knows? He's like on a binge over there creating lots of tags. Nobody tagged me because, as Steve likes to say, I smell. But I decided to do it anyway. It seemed like a kind of a fun tag, something you don't normally see in book tags, I guess. I think World Book Day was actually the 24th, but you know, I'm a little late. So this will be my Tag Tuesday tag this week. It's a nice short tag video with just a few prompts. So prompt number 1 is, what country do you currently call home? Is it the same country where you were born? And the answer is yes. And I have to tell you that this is one of those things about which I will admit to being somewhat self-conscious. Born in Texas, raised in Texas, live in Texas, so I live in the United States. I've lived in the United States my whole life. In fact, I've lived in the same state in the United States my whole life. And I really only live about 140 miles from the place where I grew up. So I haven't made a lot of transitioning physically in my life in terms of where I live. Okay, so prompt 2, how many countries have you visited? Did you buy books there? I visited 3 countries, France, Ireland, and England. Not in that order, actually, going geographically, from west to east. Ireland, England, then France. I've been to London and Paris twice, and Ireland once. And yes, I bought books there. In Ireland, I bought a book about kind of the Ulster cattle raid called the Táin. And I never pronounced that right, and Jason, you're going to have to correct me. And then in London and in France, I bought books, mainly touristy books from gift shops, but I did buy books. One of the great regrets of my trips to Paris is that I never bought a used book from the stalls all on the Seine. That is one of those things I wanted to do, and somehow it just never happened while I was there. Prompt 3, how well is the world represented in your book collection? I certainly have books from all the inhabited continents, but there's a definite weakness in terms of fiction that I've read from Asia and Africa. I do have read a few authors from both of those continents, but not a lot, and that is something that I do hope to correct. You probably picked up on the fact that over the course of for most of my reading, when I was younger, I focused on American authors and on American literature, and I'm just really kind of branching out more and reading more widely, and hopefully reading in greater variety and greater representation of authors and books and countries. Prompt 4 is, how many works in translation do you have on your shelves? I counted 67. I didn't do the numbers, but most of those would be in Spanish, translated from Spanish. But, you know, German, French, Japanese, Polish, Czech, and thanks to our own Britta Bowler and her, that I have a book translated from the Dutch. So not too bad. You know, you weren't supposed to include books that were canon. I didn't know exactly what Steve Donoghue or what was meant by canon, so I just eliminated any book that was published before 1900. Because probably if I have that book, it's a classic, and classics are probably part of the canon, so I didn't count any of my books by Balzac or Flaubert. I didn't count any of those books as a part of, you know, the books in translation that I own. Prompt number 5 was to share some weird facts about the country where you live. Well, the weirdest fact I have about the country where I live is that we elected a game show host with no qualifications to be president of the United States, and right now we're paying the price for having done that. That we have an idiot for a president, and we have the worst coronavirus response of any nation in the world. And in all reality, there's a good chance that our president of the United States is actually mentally unwell and mentally unfit, but nobody who has the power to do anything about it has the courage or the balls to do anything about it. Sorry, a little mini rant. So instead of just weird facts about the United States, I just thought I would share some weird facts about Texas. As many people know, Texas was originally a part of the Spanish territory called Mexico. And when Mexico won its independence, there were already a small number of American settlers living the territory was Texas. They had crossed the border illegally, crossed over the Sabine River, and they had set up their settlements in East Texas primarily, and in part of East Texas, which today we call the Big Thicket. The Big Thicket is kind of a heavily forested, swampy area, and many of the Americans who illegally crossed the border into Mexico before the 1820s were actually criminals who were fleeing from prosecution in the United States, and they came to live in Texas. If you didn't see the irony in what I'm talking about there, well then you can just skip on ahead. Some other weird things about Texas. Texas has some unique animals that we consider to be our state animals. I don't know if you knew this or not, but American states all have, like, the official large mammal, the official tree, that kind of thing, the official flower of the state. So our official large mammal is the longhorn, is a longhorn cow, a longhorn type of cattle, which is fairly unique to Texas. The University of Texas mascot is the Texas Longhorn, so that's weird. Our small mammal is the armadillo. You may have known that as well. But we also have an official state fish, which is the Guadalupe bass, which is relatively unique to the state of Texas. So there's some weird facts about Texas. And then prompt number 6 is, do you have any works of, let's see, how does it phrase it? Any works of world fiction on your TBR? And the answer for that is yes. I'm going to reread Milan Kundera's Unbearable Lightness of Being, for a reason which I'll make clear in a future video. And I'm also reading Teach Us to Outgrow Our Madness by Kenzaburo Oi, a Japanese writer. I've had this book on my shelf for forever, and there are 4 short novels in that, and so I plan on reading that. Next month as well. Okay, there you go. There's the World Book Day tag. Let me know if you have any comments, any weird facts you know about Texas. I may know them, I may not know them, in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.